This shiur is Leilui Nishmat Sarah Bat Esther ve'Etzion Chai Ben Miriam, Parashat Emor. The question is asked, why were these two parashiyot in such proximity, one after the other, Parashat Kedoshim and Emor? So Chachamim tells us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to warn Am Yisrael to sanctify themselves, and it also warned the Kohanim, the priests, to sanctify L'Yitkadesh. And as we remember, the main pasuk, one of the main pasukim in Parashat Kedoshim was Ve'afta lereacha kamocha, right? Ve'afta lereacha kamocha, and the same thing as the Kohanim, Asher tzivanu b'mitzvotav kiddushanu tzivanu levarech et amo Yisrael be'ahava. So the essence of this pasuk Ve'afta lereacha kamocha is to teach us to bring kedusha to our lives. And because we were created in order to be creator as well. And we need to create as well. That's the purpose. And the concept kadosh, holy, means, we know it means holy, but it means something else also. It really means to take what we already, what we want, and to take what we experience and to recreate it again in a way that is going to connect with the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with the light of creation. So when we love our fellow human being, regardless of what he's doing or he said, it shows that we actually understand that within this love, we connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and we become partners of creation, because the whole act of creation was an act of love of God to his creation. So only when we reach this level of kedusha, of true kedusha, you could really achieve and get everything that you really desire. But only when it's for the good. If it's for the bad, you're not going to get it. And Parashat Emor is always read during the time of Sfirat HaOmer, and the time of Sfirat HaOmer is the time of spiritual purification. And that's why a person who is constantly involved with his own spiritual growth, this time is very hard, is very busy, because he's busy always fixing. And because not only that it's fixing, now you know that you need to fix even more, and especially this time. It's a certain spiritual opportunity for you to work on yourself and to really achieve these goals. The parashat deals with the issues of keuna, of priesthood, and the purity for the priest. Excuse me. And it's called Parashat Emor, Milshon Amira. Amira is to say, to tell. And as its name indicates, so is the essence of this parasha. In this parasha, we see the amazing power of speech, the powerful aspect of talking. The Torah talks on the fact that the Kohanim are the ones who need to bring about the livelihood of purity. Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol nהיה bidbaro. Amen. And to bring the essence of purity to Am Yisrael, as much as us, Am Yisrael, they need to bring it to us, but we, in return, need to bring the livelihood, the chayut of purity to the world around us. And not just to our families, not just to our nation. We need to bring it to the whole entire world. Now, that's why the priests, the Kohanim, are warned not to unpurify themselves and to keep their actions in a super awareness to continue to stay pure and to continue and to watch very carefully what they're saying and how they're saying. From the beginning of the parasha until the end, the whole issues of the parasha talks about talking, about speech, and especially during the Chagim that are mentioned in this parasha, and also is associated with speech. That's why the the story of the Mekalel, the person who cursed, God forbid, Hashem, that comes at the end of the parasha, is associated with that as well. The Mekalel, the person who curses, is the opposite. It's call it the anti-force of speech. Because here you're using speech as a constructive matter, and comes the Mekalel and uses speech as a destructive matter. That's why a person who is a Mekalel, in a way, is no different than a person who speaks Lashon Hara. When a person speaks Lashon Hara, he in a way decides to take the liberty on his hand. He does not believe that there is a God that is watching out there. He doesn't believe there is a Din, that there is a Dayan. He decides to be the Din. He decides to be the Dayan. He's the executor. He's the judge. He's the jury. And a person like this is no different than a person who blessed Hashem, Chaz v'Shalom, God forbid, and curses with the name of Hashem. So that's why a person who does not pay attention to his pure speech gets punished for that. And what's the punishment? That he's being removed. Shmaya. That he's being removed from his spiritual root. That distance that a person gets from his spiritual root is the most severe punishment that you can. And that's exactly what happens when you sin. When you sin, the so-called, what we call punishment that we get with Torah is not the punishment. That's the atonement. The punishment that we receive is the actual sin, the act of the sin of the chet itself, that puts a separation between us and the Kadosh Baruch Hu, between us and the light of the Kadosh Baruch Hu, between us and our own spiritual source. And of course, that all has to do with Sfirat HaOmer. Again, that all has to do with Sfirat HaOmer. And Parashat Emor really shows us our own personal responsibility that each and every one of us has in regards to the future of the world. In the future of the world. I'm going to tell you today, I gotta share this point of nachat. I was in my daughter's graduation from medical school. She graduated at the top of her class. She made a Dean's List 4.0 average in medical school. It was an unbelievable thing to see so many young people who decided to become doctors. And I'm sure that most of them decided to become doctors not just because of the money, but rather because of the responsibility that a doctor has. When a person goes to a doctor, he goes to him with a problem and he hopes the doctors will help him. And that's why you got to be very careful. And you need, as a doctor, to remind this to yourself all the time. It was very nice. But I got to tell you, I was very moved that my daughter made it so far. Baruch Hashem. Thank God that she made it so far. I was really, really proud of her. I got to tell you something else that moved me maybe a little bit more. There were a group of people there, students, that joined the military. There were about 8 of them. There was one from the Air Force, one girl from the Navy, and then the rest were, Army. There were no Marines that I could recall. And to see young people that are willing to take such a task of becoming doctors and to have such a sense of responsibility of going to the military gave me hope. And this is something that you all need to partake in your own doing. And it doesn't make a difference what you do. Does not make a difference if you're a brain surgeon or anything else or whatever it is. It does not make a difference if you're a postman or an astronaut. But whatever you do, dedicate all your powers to do the job from A to Z at 110% of your abilities. This is your key to success. And being compassionate and being careful about the feelings of others and the services that you give. Whatever you do, it doesn't make a difference what it is, because Chazal tells us, En melacha mevayeshet et osea. A person should be proud in everything that he does. Yes, you could be a brain surgeon and you could be sloppy and that's something shame on you. And you could become a plumber and do so with pride. And you know what? God bless you. So whatever you do, carry that. Because you don't know what exactly is. We are all messengers of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to do our job. So therefore it doesn't make a difference. Don't look at titles. Look at the way you do things. That's what is important. And I was very happy to see, again, young people at this time that we're at, with this, you know, the state that we are right now, with almost like total chaos and anarchy and lack of caring, to see a group of like, I don't know how many kids were there, like 130 kids or something of that sort, to see them made me so hopeful for maybe there is a chance for a better future. Maybe there's a chance for a better future. And we need to understand, we need to bring the light to the world. It is our responsibility. Don't wait for your rabbi to do it. Do not wait for a politician to do it. You need to understand that you gotta do it. You gotta do it. So that is the responsibility. Each and every one of us is obligated in the spiritual work and hard work in order to reach the appropriate purpose that we all were prescribed to. And the Zohar says that learning the reasoning behind things and to understand and not to learn things superficially, to go down to the bottom. So if you're learning something, go down to the bottom. And there is no difference whatsoever whether you're reading a Rashi in the Chumash or you're learning some kind of a Ma'amar in the Zohar. Elu ve'elu divrei Elokim chaim, and you should give every single ounce of energy that you have to dedicate to whatever task you're doing right now. And that's the seriousness that we need. We need to stop being superficial. Lo liot shitchiyim. We have to be thorough. And we need to understand that. Whatever you do, you're giving a job, and now it doesn't make a difference if they're paying you $10 an hour or you're paying you $1,000 an hour. That job was given to you, and it was given to you by God. You need to do this job at all force ahead. You should be grateful that you have a job, even if it doesn't pay you a lot. Because it's better to make $10 an hour, which is not a lot today, out of hard work, than to get $100 an hour doing nothing. Because they're going to rot you. And you need to remember that. So, by learning like this, and being deep and thorough, this is how we bring the Geulah in Rachamim, and not Chas v'Shalom through Midat Adin. The Geulah can come this way or that way. How it's going to come, it's up to us. So, each and every one of us has an obligation to really learn hard and to really put an effort into this spirituality, and to really make ourselves holy and purify ourselves. Or in other words, to really prepare the vessel to receive the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in each and every one of us. That light is the light of the neshama of Am Yisrael, and it's not something that you should take lightly. You should be very responsible with your neshama that was given to you. Now, the Parashat, as we said before, deals mainly with Kohanim. But since Bet HaMikdash, the Temple Mount, that, hey guys, if you remember, anybody remember where Bet HaMikdash was?
In Jerusalem?
In Jerusalem, that's right. In Jerusalem was and will be always Jewish. And I hope that nobody will get some kind of a crazy idea to do so. Not to make it Jewish. It's always Jewish. And the Temple Mount right now, by the way, I just want to share it with you. The Temple Mount right now is an occupied territory. Yes, occupied territory. All Judea and Samaria are occupied territory by Arabs, occupied by Arabs from the Jews. That's our Jewish homeland. Don't let anybody fool you. So, each and every one of us is a Kohen. Each and every one of us with our 4 Amot is a Kohen. And not only a Kohen Gadol, you could be a Kohen in your heart, in your soul, you could be a Kohen in your house, and our house could act as a Bet Mikdash. And if you decide to be the Kohen and your house a Bet Mikdash, you need to conduct it appropriately. Your table could be the Mizbeach, could be like the altar, and once we're going to direct all our actions to a realm of holiness, of Kedusha, and we're going to deal with the people who are dear to us in that matter, just like a doctor who is really dedicated, he sees a patient in front of him, he doesn't see next in front of him. This is how we bring the cure. In a way, we are all doctors. We need to cure the world. We need to cure our people. We need to cure the way we run our houses. We need to be very careful not to live extravagant lives, to go into like places that we should not be going. We should be very careful with the money that God has given to us, and do not ever say, especially not in front of me, hey, Rabbi, listen, buddy, what do you have money for? To enjoy it. No, God did not give you money to enjoy it and to spend it and to waste it. God gave you money to be responsible with. And I told you this a million times. If you're not responsible with your money, you're not responsible with your time. And as much as you waste your time, your money, you're going to waste your life. The only difference is money you can always make, time you can't. So you got to be very careful. I understand sometimes you need a break, physical break. How about spiritual rejuvenation? How about your spiritual rejuvenation? That's what will carry you. Needless to say, if you don't know what I'm talking about, read Viktor Frankl, Men's Search for Meaning. It's not about the money, it's about the meaning in your life. And you should read Viktor Frankl over and over and over and over and over again. And then you ask yourself, what gives meaning to my life? Because life without meaning cannot be life of holiness. Holiness is the essence of meaning. And that can only come with straightforward attention. You need to be very focused on what you're doing. There's no such thing as, well, I don't know what happened. It's just, I don't know, just happened. Just happened. And you'll see what I'm talking about, that just happened is not a Jewish concept. We should not go with, I don't know what happened. So now, when we're going to do that, that means that the Torah is required us to take responsibility over our lives. You need to be responsible for your life. Nobody else is responsible for your life. Not your mommy, not daddy, not your kindergarten teacher, not your babysitter, not your wife, not anybody. You need to be responsible for your life. So therefore, if your life stinks, it's because you didn't put enough deodorant on your life. You weren't responsible. You gotta watch out. When we put Kedusha, holiness in our life, and we connect ourselves to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, according to the Zohar tells us, right, that a Kohen Pagum, a priest that is blemished, for example, if he had, let's say, an accident and his finger got cut off, he could not serve in Beit HaMikdash. So the question is, why is he Pagum, right? It was an accident. He didn't do it on purpose. It's an accident. So the word in Hebrew, accident, means te'una, right? Te'una. Te'una is mishum inna, right? And it already says in the Torah that if two people, for example, working in the forest and they're chopping wood, and God inna leyado shel echad v'nishal garzen ve'harag ezulato. God so did something that the axe from one guy slipped off the handle and killed the other person. Right, the person who's responsible should really go into the city of refuge. Should go to the city of refuge. So the Zohar explained to us that in Judaism, in the world of the believer, there's no such thing as incidents, as oops, I don't know, it just happened. There's no such thing. Everything is directed. When you tell me that we're not talking, we spoke about it before, we're not talking about karma. Karma is the not Jewish aspect. It's not a Jewish point. It's not a Jewish concept. Karma means you have no choice. Here we're talking about everything is directed by Kadosh Baruch Hu based on what you decided to, or where you decided to steer your life to. And if something even happened b'shogeg, by mistake, there's still here a certain warning. Whoa! There's a certain warning here to this person to really wake up and to understand that something in his life is not working right. Now, the city of refuge was a city in which people who were the main inhabitants of the city of refuge, that was the Leviim. And the Leviim the reason was that the person who killed accidentally will go to the city of refuge, and since the Leviim were in charge of learning and teaching, he hopefully would sit there and he would learn and he would understand what is wrong with his life and what brought him to this exile in that city of refuge, and whatever happened to him happened. In other words, that nothing happens by mistake. Nothing is coincidence. And if you don't believe me, look at your life. Look at everything that even look as a coincidence in your life. You'll see that it wasn't a coincidence. It was actually direct hand in it. There was a reason why it happened. And in our parasha here, we are commenting almost about over all the holidays, all the chagim. And there are of course also some dinei nezikim and so on and so forth. But since we are in the middle of Sfirat HaOmer, maybe just for a second, we'll take a small detour and we'll try to understand what's this thing of Sfirat HaOmer. Like, what is this all about? What's Sfirat HaOmer all about? So every day after Arvit, we count, right? Today so-and-so days to the Omer, and then say, okay, yalla, let's go home. We go home. That's it. We go home like nothing happened. Yeah. But is the Torah just commands us to do something just to count? Well, what are we, like the Muppet Show here, right? And a 1 and a 2 and a 3, right? What are we counting? What was it? There is a reason the Torah is trying to teach us something here, and in a way that has to do with what I told you before about being serious and being very thorough about what you do. And I think what we are missing, but not understanding, that is something great that could really make a difference in our lives altogether. So yes, there is a certain aspect here of being present and awareness and preparing ourselves for Matan Torah. We all know that. But if we take a little Hasidic approach and we look at Rav Nachman Mibreslov says, he explained to us that the tzivui, right, as the Torah tells us, is usfartem lachem mimacharat Shabbat, and you should count usfartem lachem to you, right, and so on and so forth. It says et omer atnufa sheva Shabbatot mimot. What's omer atnufa? They used to take a bundle of barley and they lift it up, they bring it down, they lift it up, they bring it down, right, and they do so. That's the sheva Shabbatot. You have to count the omer. So, yes, in a way, if you look at it, it's one of the commandments of the Torah, or probably the commandment of the Torah that lasts the longest. There is not even one holiday that lasts so long. No commandment in the Torah lasts for 49 days. This is something that wait a minute, there's something here that we need to look into. And what's the point of this thing? What's the point of that matter of counting? The point of the matter of the point of the counting is really to hold down to things, as Rav Nachman says, lachzik, to hold down to things, to hold things and to remember certain things. And it seems like, in a way, like a very easy thing, right? But to hold on to things and to count, it's not something easy at all. Rav Nachman says that every speech that comes out, anything you talk during this time of the Omer, every single day, belongs to the tikkun of that appropriate midah, to the appropriate quality that we have today. Like, for example, we say chesed shebeyesod, malchut shebechesed, and so on. So everything that you do, so that's why you got to be super careful with what you're saying. Remember, we said you got to be super careful during this time in terms of the tikkun of what you're saying, because everything that you said belongs to that. That's why there's certain things. We start, for example, learning something on Monday, and then somewhere on Tuesday we somehow drifted to somewhere else, and it's really unexplainable, but it usually happens only during this time, and the reason is because of that. Now, another thing that Rav Nachman says that if we pay attention, even something small that we do is hard for us to hold on to for a long time. And I'll give you an example. I'll challenge you. We're all busy. We're all under stress. We're all everything. Shmuel, pay attention. I'm going to ask you the following. You too, Jonathan. Listen to this. Try to. First of all, get rid of your phones. Try not to answer your phones, for example, for 1 hour a day. It's going to be, Rabbi, this is very difficult. 1 hour a day without the phone, especially when the rabbi is talking. That's very difficult. So fathers, I'll give you a discount. I want you to do the following, and I'll challenge all of you. I want you every single day for 2 minutes a day to be happy, to laugh, and to dance. I'm willing to bet that you're not going to be able to last for 50 days, every single day, for 2 minutes, laughing, happy, and dancing. What's to dance for 2 minutes? You're going to tell me to dance for 2 minutes is a big deal? No, to dance for 2 minutes is not a big deal. The big deal is not the 2 minutes. The big deal is the everyday. So that's why people who start Daf Yomi and finish it and they go day after day, if I had 3 hats, I will remove all my 3 hats for them because it's something that is very, very important. It's not that you finish the Shas extra amount of time in your life. And it's not that you even don't remember what you learned. It's not that. It's the fact that you have developed an ability to do something every single day because you chose to do it and you have the ability to do so. Most people who feel that they are powerful and they're strong and cannot commit to something that they would do every single day, whether they feel good or they don't feel good, if their tooth hurts or they're fasting or they're going to a wedding or they can't. Most people can't. Another example, how many people do you know start to play guitar in your life? Woo! How many people actually continue playing guitar in life 10 years, like every single day, putting half an hour, no more, just half an hour. How many people do you know when to start karate? Martial arts. And never finish. How many people started something and continue to do so every single day seriously for the rest of their lives? So Rav Nachman tells us, here comes the Torah now and trying to teach us a skill. You know that if, for example, you do something without failing 2 weeks in a row, every single day, it will become a habit. The most difficult part on anything that you accept upon yourself is the first 2 weeks. So and don't raise your hands. How many of you go to Minyan in the morning? Don't raise your hands. If you're going to go, and now it's important, it's not just to go to every single, it's Baruch Hashem, thank you very much, Chazak Baruch, you go to a Minyan every day, but do you go to the same Minyan every day? To go to the same Minyan every day, let's say you have a Minyan at 6:30, every day at 6:30. That is the trick. Not the guy who goes to a minyan one day at 6:30, one time at 9:30, one time he doesn't go. That's nothing. There's no continuity. With no continuity, there's no growth. With no growth, there's no point to life. If you want to grow in your life, you got to man up. That's why I like people who go to the military. You got to man up every single day. Now you might understand, tell me, oh, this rabbi is crazy, man. Every time you ask, where are you? Why aren't you coming to yeshiva? I don't need you here. I want to retire. I want to go home. I'm doing so for you. So you would develop the skill that you know that every day you come. Every day you have the ability to dedicate to something constantly. And this is only how you grow. It's not how much IQ you have. It's how much dedication you have to your learning. That's what's going to make you a Talmid Chacham. That's what will entitle you with the title of Ben Torah. That's what gets you into the Dins list. Every single day you have discipline. Today, in today's day and age, discipline is a dirty word. There used to be the J word, the N word. Today is the D word. No discipline. So when we understand that, that's what Rav Nachman says. That's the word lachem, to you, right? But Nachman says, one second, lachem, you should count to yourself. You should say, just count. Usfartem, mimacharat Shabbat. Lama lachem, what to you? Lachem la'atzmechem. In other words, it shows us that we need to be mitchazek, strengthening ourselves. Now, when we bring the Omer HaSeorim, which in a way, barley at the time was considered to be, animal feed, right? The lowest of the lowest, and so on, very earthy, and we bring it to Shamayim, up and down. We remind ourselves all the time that you are in the world that you're in the world of God. You're in the world of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're not in your own world. God gives you from the heaven down, and you need to do something again towards Shamayim as well. You direct your actions to Shamayim. You take the physicality that you have, the desires, and you make them holy. You bring them up. You elevate yourself. You need to strengthen yourself up. Don't fall into and don't associate yourself with the people that tell you, Dad, don't be so radical. You don't have to go every day. Take a break. You need to move on with your life. Right? It's enough going to Yeshiva. How much can you go to Yeshiva? You think if Rav Ovadia's parents would have said it to him, he would have become Rav Ovadia? You think Rav Moshe would have become if a parent tell him, Dad, don't be crazy, don't go every day to Yeshiva? Lachem, we need to be mitchazek, especially this time. And we bring in the seorim, which is something that it's considered to be, as we say, ma'achal be'ena, which is very physical, very earthy, right? Which is the source of all the chataim, and we need to understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is there with me also. In other words, melo kol haaretz kevodo. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with us also when we do good, but also when we do bad. When we sin, God is with us there as well. It's very convenient to us to think that there are situations or places that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not there, right? As the joke says, they gave a child, a Jew, some heretics came to a kid, a yeshiva kid, yeled katan, they said to him, listen, we'll give you $10 if you tell us where God is. So he said to them, I'll give you $20 if you tell me where he's not. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with us in all situations, all the time. And this is the harama ve'tnufa roma seurim. We take in something that is food, and it's inferior food, and we bring it to a level of emunah, of belief. And emunah, that's something that we all need to be mitchazek, we all need to strengthen ourselves in emunah. We need to stop relying on kochi ve'otzem yadi. We need to stop relying on this mercy of that one, or the other mercy of the other one. We need to do something about it. But we need to be mitchazek be'emunah. We need to understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu would never leave us. And Rav Nachman says that a person should not think that his friends are better than him. No, don't put yourself into a state of being competitive. Today, everybody wants to be competitive, right? In other words, what does my neighbor have? How big did he do his wedding? What car he has? And so on and so forth. Don't get yourself into this kind of stage. Even though it's really good to hold yourself to say, listen, there are better people than me, but don't put yourself into a state where you are feeling lousy and very, very bad about yourself. And if you feel somewhere along the line bad about yourself, look at the DNA of your neshama, of your spiritual neshama that you have, the unique neshama that you have. And then as Rav Nachman says, Ha'olam nivra bishvili, as it says in Masechet Sanhedrin. The world was created for me. But for me, not for me, that you would serve me. Ha'olam notzar bishvili, in other words, not for me to sit back over there like what do you call those guys in Rio de Janeiro? Cariocas, right? All they do is go to the beach, drink caipirinhas, eat whatever they eat, farofas, whatever they eat over there, right? Hakol tov v'yafeh. They do absolutely nothing. That's not what we are talking about. We're talking about the world was created for me. For me to fix. In other words, you need to look and to understand that you are privileged that the world was created the way it was created for you to fix. You are giving a schut, a chance, a reward that you don't deserve to fix the world. and everything that you passed and happened and you went through in your life was to fix this point in which you saw that was bad. So when you speak Lashon Hara about someone, you are making that point worse. You saw something is wrong, you need to fix it. Not by speaking badly, by using the negative power of speech. You need to do the opposite. And that is the point. You see something is wrong, get up and fix it. במקום שאין איש, תהיה איש. When there's no man, you'll be the man. According to Rav Nachman, a birthday, guys, I'm sorry to spoil it for you, is not for nonsense. Like we have buying gifts, going to dinner, having a cake, and all this nonsense. That's good for Paro. That's not good for us. Yom Huledet, a birthday, is the day in which you came to this world, because this world was missing you. The world needed you. That's why you came to this world. And that is true humbleness. True humbleness is not to say, mi ani, ma ani, ma, who am I, what am I, right? No, that's not. That's an excuse for you to do nothing. That's an excuse for you to be a reckless bum. True humbleness is to say, yes, there are people who are much better than me, but I'm good at what HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave me. I'm good at what God gave me. And this is the secret of Sfirat HaOmer of Lachem, to yourself. Because you have something that nobody else has. You have talents and a job that nobody else has. And it is your job to fix it. And it's your job to do it. And not to worry about somebody else's job. Not to worry what he has, what he gave, what he didn't give, what he do, or what he didn't do. Did you do what you need to do? All you did is talk. And because of that, Rabotai, if it wasn't for that, Avraham Avinu, there was Echad Ba'olam, right? What do you mean? Avraham Avinu was a single person in the world. Even Adam HaRishon, the Chava was there. Ma ze Avraham Avinu was Echad Ba'olam? Avraham Avinu was Echad Ba'olam because he looked around, right? He said, what, am I crazy? I'm not going to go against everybody else. Everybody else is doing idol worship and they bow down to idols. I'm going to go against everybody? That's impossible. I cannot do it. If it was that attitude, he could never be Avraham Avinu. If it wasn't Avraham Avinu, guys, we would not be here. Avraham Avinu was Echad Ba'olam, right? And because of that, it says, Lech, Lecha, go to you, Lachem, Lecha, go to your own self. Concentrate on the work that you need to do. Don't worry about what somebody else does. Do you believe in God? He doesn't believe in God. Well, he doesn't believe in God. It's not your problem. You need to believe in God. You need to live it like that. The Zohar continues, it says that, that in a way, each and every one of us came to this world. And the person each said, why did I come to this world? What was the purpose? What do I need to fix? What did I come to pray on? What did I come to beg for? What do I need to do? The Zohar continues, it says that each and every limb of our body, there's a corresponding limb in our soul. And if a certain limb in the soul of the person is being blemished, it's going to also affect your physical being, physical limb as well. And that injury or that blemish indicates on a certain level of choser emunah or lack of emunah, lack of belief or lack of connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yes, sometimes there are certain yisurim that a person gets, mishum, HaKadosh Baruch Hu does a chesed with him, right? Yisurim shel ahava. But we're not talking about Yisurim shel ahava. We're talking about Yisurim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is trying to tell you something. Listen, fix this. If you pogem in midat hahod, so you need to fix. What is it? You need to bring glory to Hashem. You haven't done it. Maybe you did a chilul Hashem. There's keter, and so on and so forth. You need to fix this. And even more so, it's true regarding a Kohen, regarding the priest, that needs to be completely shalem. Uval emunah yoter mikulam. The emunah of a Kohen needs to be greater than everybody else. It needs to be whole. He needs to be harmonious. It's not that he needs to be in peace with himself. If you want to have a peace with yourself, I don't know, smoke a joint. What we're talking about here is harmony. That you know what you're doing. That you have a mission. That you have a goal. That you have a reason to live. And since Avodat HaKodesh is not an easy thing, we need to make sure that our society and society around us is a supportive society, that it is important for it to enter Kedusha and holiness in its life and its surrounding. And if the society, now whether it's your shul, your city, or even your own family, is not Bi Avraham Avinu Lech Lecha, only like that we'll be able to do what we came here to do. Only like that each and every one of us will be able to be a high priest, serving God in the temple, in the Holy of Holies. Only like that we could build Bet HaMikdash b'mera b'yameinu. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.